Hey, Geography 1301, we're going to learn some new Google tools today with this tutorial. Let's begin with opening the Mangrove Biome, KMZ. And you can see over here, I'm sitting behind my camera, so over here on the left-hand side, Mangrove Biome, KMZ, I'm going to open that so I can see all the place marks in here. And I have the 1962 deselected and the 2011 area deselected. What we want to do first is go to South Padre Island Study Area. So click that number 1, double click it, and we'll go to our study site for this particular tutorial. And what we're looking at here is mangrove forest. This area all through here, you can see these trees in the water. These are mangrove forests, or a mangrove forest. And one of the things I want to take a look at today is the historical imagery tool. Historical imagery, if you look right down here, way down here at the bottom, you'll see it says 1962 on my particular screen, and there's a clock there. You can look up at the top at this icon right up here. Let me aim it up a little bit. That icon right there looks like a clock as well. So you can click this one or the one down at the bottom, and you'll notice right in here that we have a timeline. And this is a historical imagery tool. So right now it reads 4/2014. So this image that we're looking at here is the latest one, although it was shot on 1/21/2011 according to this right down here at the bottom. So what I'd like you to do is play with this historical imagery tool. You can grab on and slide it over to the left, and you can see satellite views from previous decades, previous time. Some places that you go on Google Earth don't have these. Some of them are the resolution is so poor you can't really see what's going on. And what I'd like you to do is find the January 1995 historical imagery. So if you slide this all the way to the right, to the left rather, it's 12/1962, but if you slide it to the next mark, it's 1/1995. And what I would like for you to do now is take the, what is this called? The path tool. Add a path. And we're going to outline the mangrove forest so we can later find out how much area is there. So I want to zoom out just a tad so I can see it, get it centered nice. And I'm going to click on the tool, and this path, I'm going to name it where it reads Untitled Path. It reads Untitled Path right here. I'm going to name it 1/1995 area. That's 1/1995 mangrove area. And I'm going to kind of slide this over here out of the way a little bit, out of my area that I'm going to trace around. And you'll see the cursor has changed to like a crosshairs kind of thing. Right here's my cursor. If you click once, you can begin to trace around all of the mangrove area. So I'm going to trace around it real quick and get a general. This is kind of estimating. We don't have the tools to do it real specific, but I'm going to estimate the general area here of mangroves based only on what I'm looking at on the screen, and kind of going around the mangrove trees. You can see them; they're quite a bit more distinct than the coastal marsh area and the nearby estuaries. And I'm getting around here. I'm going to come up here. I'm getting a little bit looser now. And let me get this finished off. And I come back up here and I connect with the line that I started with. And then once I get it closed in, I can come over here and click OK, or I can click the style and color, and I'm going to change the color to, what color should it be? I'm going to change it to bright red. So I just change it to red, and I'm going to make my line a little bit thicker. Instead of line width of 1, I'm going to make it 2. And there we go. So right here now you see a place mark, or a path showing the area of 1995 Mangrove area off of South Padre Island. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to drag it up here to my study area. So I drag it up to number 1 and I drop it and let it go. And you can see that it's got a check in it. It's checked off so I can see it. If you uncheck it, it goes away. And now we'll go up to the timeline again, and I can click over a little bit further, and here's 6 of 2002, 3 of 2004, which actually I think there's a error in this because that has nothing in it. It looks more like 1962. So we'll skip that one. Not everything's perfect with free stuff off the internet, right? 2005 is another view, and so on. And there's our 2009 view. You can see, if you look closely, that the mangroves have actually grown outside of the area, especially right through here. This was 1995 is the red line, and now we're looking at 1 of 2009. So you can see that the mangroves have actually increased. They've grown out this way as well. Well, what I've done, if you click on the 1962 and the 1 of 2011, I've already done a couple of these, and there I just clicked them in. The 1962 area is this one. I'm going to move it up a little bit. Is this one that's kind of an orange color, and that's where the mangroves used to be in 1962. In 1995, the one that I just did, it's the red line. And in 2011, I had traced this previously before I turned the camera on, and this one is the 2011 extent of the mangroves. Okay, so what I would like for you guys to do is figure out the area, the increase in area, or in some cases it would be the decrease in area. So we're going to start with 1962, and it doesn't matter what I have up on the screen right now. I'm going to try to figure out what the area of this is. And since it's a really odd shape, I can't figure out the exact area. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to come up here to the Polygon Tool, and I'm going to select that. And I'm going to call this 1962 area estimate, and I'm going to move this over here out of my way because I'm working in this area right here. And you can see that my cursor is crosshair again, and I'm going to make a series of lines around my curvy lines, and I'm going to square it off and do something like this. Just touching around the edges of it. And I'm going to call that an area estimate. Now I can change my style, my line color. I can make it kind of the same, similar orangish color. And I can say OK. And the fill, that's the area right here, the fill, I would like for it to be 0 fill so I can see through it. So we could go, just put a 0 opacity in there, and that's really hard to see. So you know what? Change my mind. I'll change it back to 100%. And then I can click OK. Now I can zoom into this. and close that up there out of the way. And whoops, what we can do now is we can use our we configure the area, and if it were a nice rectangle we could just go length times width, right? What we have to do is break this area into a series of triangles, and we'll do base times height divided by 2. So first let's make some triangles. We'll get our polygon line again, and this one is going to be we'll call it 1962 triangles, and the color can't be white because it's white background, but it looks okay like this. I'm going to make the opacity on this 0, and I'm going to make a triangle. So I'm going to put a triangle from here to here to there, and then here, and I click that and I get one triangle. And then I'm going to make another triangle. In fact, I probably don't even have to name these. Based on this, I'm going to make a triangle starting right here, and I could even go down to here. Now I have a triangle. There's one triangle, two triangles. Let me change the color on this so you can see it a little bit better. Make it bright red and make it thicker. Make it 3. Okay, there's another triangle. And add yet another triangle. That wouldn't be a triangle, would it? There. And click OK, and then we're going to create another triangle. And click OK, create another triangle. Until we get this filled in with triangles. Seems a little tedious, I understand, but we can make a, right here for example, we can make a really big triangle. Click OK, and let's fill this out with one more triangle, which leaves, there's a triangle here and here and here, 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 and here. Okay, so now we take the measurement tool and we're going to measure it in, let's do it in feet because we can later convert that. And we're going to measure from the base times the height. So you grab from base, I'm clicking right here, and then I drag it up to the height of the triangle and click, and it's 143 feet. So I get my piece of paper and I write down 143, and that can be our height, and I'm going to clear that, and then we get our base, and I'm going to click here, go down to here, and the base is 363 feet. So we're going to multiply 143 times 363. I wrote it down on my paper there. And get my calculator out and go 143 feet times 363 feet equals 51,909 divided by 2 is 25,954, and I'm going to write that down. And then I'm going to get the area of this triangle, which in this case the height is cleared out. The height is from here to here, so this is the height there to there, 109 feet. Clear it, and the base 280 feet. Write that down, multiply it, divide by 2. This one, base, right there across the bottom. Clear that. Height 207 feet. And I would just do this until I've done every triangle. And this real long one down here, the height is only from here to here. From here to here, which is 60 feet, 59.49. But the length of it is really, really long, 452 feet. Okay, and I'm going to clear all that out. I'm going to do all that math, and I'm going to add up the total square, or the total square footage is what it is, for this entire area. And that's going to give me one number that's an estimate, even though it cut in here a little bit. Some of it's sticking out here and here. This is our best estimate for the area of the 1962 mangroves. Now here is, let's turn it all off, the 1962. We can just unclick all that stuff. And we'll go over here and we'll do the same thing for our 2011. This is outlined in white, 2011. And I would do the same thing. We get our Polygon Tool. Get this out of the way. I'm going to create a polygon around here, and I'm going to make this one a little bit easier. There, we'll simplify that one. And this one is our 2011 polygon, we can call it that if we want. And now we would do the same thing. I would get the area of this, and I click here to make a triangle on this one. I can make a really big triangle. There it is right there. There's one. Do another one. Easy to do. Let's see, where can we go? Here and here. And then let's see, I think it looks like we need two more. We'll click here and here. Come to that corner for the second to last triangle. So now we only have 1, 2, 3, 4 triangles, and we would measure with our measurement tool. Again, we get our ruler, and we're using feet. Click here to here. That's 1,556 feet. Write that down and go to the height, 1,018 feet, and write that down. Multiply it together, divide by 2. Same thing here, base times the height. Height on this one, base on this one, and on this one our height is, here's our base, our height is going to be right there. So we would multiply base times height, divide by 2 on all of those, and we'd figure out our area. And what you're going to do for this activity is figure out the area increase on these, and then we're going to use it to look around on some other things as well and figure out percentages of increase, so that we can figure out how much the mangrove forest has increased over time, or in some cases how much it has decreased over time. Okay, so we got our tools here, our Polygon tool up at the top, our path tool, our ruler tool. We're using the historical imagery down here, or you can click historical imagery here. Base times height divided by 2 is how you figure out the area of a triangle. And I'll have written instructions on what you do from here after this tutorial.